How to handle emotional manipulation in a relationship? Okay, the first thing you should know about emotional manipulation is there is a certain dynamic between the two people involved, the manipulator and the victim. And the dynamic is very similar to how a spider catches its prey, a fly. If you observe how a spider catches its prey, it will not chase it. A spider patiently spins a web and strategically places a bait, like a fruit, to attract the fly. And the fly walks into the web without noticing it. By the time it realizes something doesn't feel right, it's already halfway stuck. That's exactly what a manipulator does. They create an emotional web and place a bait every time they are manipulating. It's like a pattern. Once you understand how to notice the emotional web and recognize the pattern, you can avoid getting manipulated. And if you're already experiencing manipulation, you can handle it. Get out of it without losing your mind. Hi, I'm Gayatri Arvind, founder of Abhasa Rehab and Wellness. We offer residential rehabilitation for people struggling with addiction, mental health disorders, eating disorders, and chronic conditions. Over the past 6 years, we have helped over thousands of people reclaim their lives through personalized care. Through this channel, we share practical wisdom to empower your mental health. See, let me be clear here. I'm not saying people who manipulate are evil or bad. There is a chance that most people do all these things unknowingly. But whether they do it intentionally or not, the pattern of emotional manipulation is the same. They don't always shout or fight. In fact, in the beginning, they'll feel warm, safe, they'll really get you. They'll listen, connect deeply, even comfort your pain, and you'll feel like finally someone who sees me. And honestly, in that moment, they probably do. But when they are in some adverse conditions like stress or triggers and insecurities, the same person starts reacting in unhealthy ways. It's not because they are bad, but because they are unhealed. They'll spin the emotional web and it'll start very small. Actually, the manipulator will make you feel guilty for things that you didn't do. They will even twist your words until you doubt your own memory. For example, halfway through the conversation, they'll explode. And somehow, you'll be the one who ends up saying sorry just to keep the peace in the relationship. All their red flags will be wrapped in love, concern, and promises. They say things like, I only said that because I care. I want what's best for us. I was just trying to be funny, and don't be so sensitive. You are overreacting to small things. And whenever you try to stand up for yourself, they flip it. Look how angry you get. See, this is why I can't talk to you. And what happens to you as a victim, you'll be confused, right? On one hand, you are hurt, but on the other, you keep doubting yourself. You will question your memory, your intentions, and your tone. You'll feel something is off, but you can't explain it. And the most common sign is you begin to apologize for feeling the way you feel. As the days pass, you'll start to believe that it must be your fault. So, you'll over-explain yourself in every conversation. You'll be so afraid of saying or doing the wrong things. Even if you are the one who's getting hurt, you'll stay silent, stop asking questions, and stop expressing your needs because you'll feel like, what if they get angry? Or worse, what if they leave me or avoid me? And deep down, you'll start to believe that if I just love them better, things might go back to the way how it was in the beginning of the relationship. See, if someone is openly cruel, anyone would leave them, right? But when they take us into a roller coaster ride, like they are sweet one day, they're cold the other day, kind and then cruel, what happens is your brain gets hooked to this emotional drama, the highs and lows. You endure the lows because your brain knows or anticipates that the high is on the way. But as time passes, your nervous system gets used to this confusion and the roller coaster of emotions. And then you'll slowly watch your life fade away from you like the fly caught in the spider web. Now, how can you escape the pattern of emotional manipulation? Like how the fly escapes the spider web. The reality is, if it fights the spider, it will be done. At the same time, if it keeps struggling non-stop, or if the fly panics and flaps its wings again and again, it will get more tangled in the web, right? So what the fly does is, it will stop and absolutely go still. And it begins noticing the surroundings, where exactly it is stuck and where there is space to move and where the web is tight. See, every web has a strong spot and a weak spot, right? The fly looks for that. It pulls itself slowly in that direction away from the center. Bit by bit, it untangles itself and eventually it flies. That's how you escape emotional manipulation. When you figure out something is off or that you're being manipulated, you don't confront it by shouting, yelling, or fighting. You stop reacting, take a step back, and start noticing things. When do I feel small? What am I guilty about? Is that necessary? Or why do I feel confused after every conversation? It might be tough, but you have to study the emotional web that you are caught in, like the patterns, the reactions, the triggers. And when you recognize it, name it silently in your mind, like they are turning the blame towards me, and that was guilt tripping, that was gaslighting. When you name the pattern, your brain will become more aware of the situation and automatically respond to that. Slowly, when you respond, you will stop feeding that cycle. Instead of saying yes, you will pause and say what you really feel. You will express your needs politely but firmly. Now, when you keep doing this, you'll start trusting your memory, tone, and intentions again. When this self-trust and truth becomes louder and stronger than confusion, you will begin to fly away from the trap of emotional web. That's how you handle emotional manipulation in relationships, with calm, clarity, and self-trust.